There's another Geordie who would love to see Newcastle win this afternoon. Gazza's in the stadium, so too, of course, Fenner and Eriksson at the front there. It's Newcastle United against Chelsea, the last of the fifth-round ties. And Alan Shearer's last season. I'm very much aware of that in these parts. We're interactive, of course. Push the red button on the remote control. Sky Digital viewers, follow the instructions. That's where you will find that menu page. There you go. Do it for Shearer. And Shearer, of course, can do it for himself this afternoon against Chelsea. He is player cam for the first 15-20 minutes of this half. Highlights later of the games involving Burnley and Blackburn today. That finished in a draw. And Jermaine Defoe has just put Spurs 1-up against Nottingham Forest. We'll see that later as well. Right now, it's John Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Celestine Babayaro played the last time Chelsea won a trophy, the 2000 FA Cup. Of course, recently left Stamford Bridge after 7.5 years there. Desperate to be fit today, came off early on Thursday. He's okay, Shearer's okay. There was a fitness test for him earlier today. Played 2, lost 2. Newcastle's record against Chelsea this season. No goals scored. 6 conceded, all after half-time, in the case of the 2 that decided a League Cup tie here in extra time. That's not available today. 90 fiery FA Cup minutes ahead at St James's Park. Competition has been getting tremendous attendances this season. Another 50,000 here. And here's Laurent Robert, outspoken as usual. And the team hasn't been as usual under Graham Souness.
No, I think that's obvious, wasn't it? But he is a match winner, I'll give you that. And it's like an FA Cup tie.
Thiago giving Kesman something to chase early on. Shay Given wasn't secure really about where the edge of his penalty area was. Kicked well. And advantage played by referee Mark Halsey, who's been here a long time today, conducting various pitch inspections.
Yeah, he did well there. Let play go on, having a little word with Smerton. Was a little late on Kluivert. Smerton, that's his job, he's in there. He's doing the Makaleli job for Chelsea today.
Between Kluivert and Shearer was a Titus Bramble. It didn't come his way, and came back Laurent Robert.
Well, let me tell you, that's why he frustrates the life not only of his manager, but of his teammates. I think his captain at the back post is not too impressed with this. I mean, that's an audacious attempt. Look at where he is. He's got time, he's got players in the box. The centre-backs are up because it's been a free kick. You know, just dump it back in there. Give your teammates a chance of getting their head on it. Just relieves the pressure.
Carlo Cudicini, who is lined up to play in the Carling Cup final next Sunday. 3 crucial matches in the 3 knockout competitions for the Premiership leaders, whose margin over Manchester United could well be cut to 3 points by the next time Chelsea kick a ball in the league. Robert. Kluivert still really believing he hasn't shown Newcastle fans what he's really capable of. Good opportunity today, and a reminder to Chelsea fans of Barcelona away. Kluivert scored in that 5-1 Barcelona comeback against Chelsea 5 years ago in the Champions League. Here's Shearer. The right back for Newcastle, fit again, Stephen Carr.
You feel that's where they're going to get the width from the right-hand side from Carr. I think that Dyer will tuck inside at times. It'll be up to Carr to get on the outside, and Robert from this side providing ammunition.
And Nicky Butt back in the team. It does give Jermaine Jenas a chance to play further forward. He's had the holding role for several months in a long time Butt absence. And here is Jenas, and Butt backing him up. Looking to be the outlet again on the far side. Never beaten Chelsea in his career. Most of his matches, of course, against them with Tottenham, who had just a dire record against the fellow London club. Robert now looking for Shearer this time. He finds Kluivert! Well, he's shown them there, Patrick Kluivert, and Newcastle lead with just over 3 minutes gone.
Well, that's what I mean. That shot that he thrashed wide earlier, that's what Robert's on the side to do. Not to thrash it wide from 40 yards from a ridiculous angle, but to put his left foot round it, to curl it in there. You have Kluivert, you have a another Shearer. For God's sake, give them something to thrive on, and this is what they've done. And they work the ball really well. First from left to right, then back to the left again. Now the target's away. Can he provide the cross? Yes, he can. Can he provide a header? Yes, he can. What a finish. What a start for Newcastle.
Well, this is the authentic Patrick Kluivert. You've wondered at times, with the greatest respect to Newcastle, how Barcelona decided to release him, and he drifted away from La Liga. He's almost came here, almost on trial, really.
I think he did. I think you're absolutely spot on. He came with something to prove to everyone here. He
was the only outfield player that Holland didn't use in Euro 2004. That told you something as well. Out of touch, out of the limelight. But not today. The header was sublime.
Well, it's a perfect start for this Newcastle side. The manager's come under a bit of pressure in recent weeks, even though, as you pointed out, they've been on a decent run. But an early goal in a game like this, absolute tonic, just what they needed.
Joe Cole. Yarashik, who can't play in the Champions League, he's already cup-tied, having played for CSKA, including against Chelsea earlier in the competition. But talking to Graham Sinners before the game, and he said 1-0s. Chelsea get them all the time. I think they've had 11 this season. We can't get any. Now here they are, 1-0 up. It's come very, very early.
It has come early, and they're not watertight, we know that. But, you know, we know Boumsong's a decent player. Bramble cuts out his individual mistakes, can be a very good defender. Big onus on them now, and the goalkeeper. But Nicky Butt's influence in that goal, Martin, I said, he started it by spraying the ball wide from the left side to Carr on the right, then he went and got it back and sent it back to Robert. And I always think against Chelsea, when they play this narrow, if you're prepared to work the ball across the pitch quickly and accurately, then you can get great positions high up the pitch against them.
Headed on by the tall Yarashik. Cole right up there alongside Kesman.
I mean, it's been such a... I know we're only talking 6 minutes, but 6 minutes, and I don't think the ball's been in the Newcastle penalty area yet.
And it's given away by Thiago, and Shearer lets fly. Robert wants to take the corner quickly. He's set up the opening goal. He's now having a look, waiting for Boumsong to come, waiting for Bramble to arrive. Shearer, of course, is there. Kluivert with one-headed goal under his belt already.
Well, look at this. You see what Chelsea are trying to do. I don't know whether they're happy at the back. They don't want to encourage too many up, but they've said, here you go. We'll stick 3 men on the halfway line. Try and keep as many Newcastle players, who have to keep 4 back now, back out the penalty area.
Well, one of the 4 is creeping forward. It's Kieran Dyer.
Yeah, I think anything that drops out of the box, Dyer should be the one getting on it.
Retrieving the clearance from his own corner. Here is Dyer. Kluivert and Shearer wait again. Genus. A relayed playing surface here at St James's Park. Much to the benefit of both teams. And now Jeremy. Yarashik. So the backup boys in blue have a challenge here to keep the 4-pronged attack on this season going. They're a goal down in the FA Cup. Newcastle are fired up in the FA Cup.
But there have been games here, isn't there, at St James's? I'm thinking in the league, I think it was Portsmouth won, they got an early goal, looked like they were going to go and win it. There have been others here. And the same thing's happened against teams who they should have gone on and beaten, and they haven't done, and made heavy weather of it.
Yes, they went up against Charlton recently, didn't they, and let in an equaliser pretty much straight away. Here's Glenn Johnson. Babayaro. And on from Genus.
Well, that's the areas. Those are the areas that I think Newcastle will try and exploit. just outside of the midfield players. On that side, Thiago. On this side, Jeremy.
1932, the last time Newcastle beat Chelsea in a knockout competition. Robert.
You'd just like to have seen him go on the outside there. It was 1v1 against Jeremy.
Able to turn, but wasn't quite sure about how to distribute the ball. That allowed Nicky Butt to get his challenge in. Flag went up. Shearer, crowd weren't aware of that. Alan Shearer wasn't aware of it.
It's whether it's Shearer or Robert. As the ball's played, it's just Alan Shearer. In fact, Robert's probably the one who was on, but certainly it was. He had a little think about it, and rightly so, the linesman. But I think he got that one right.
Shearer saying to us earlier today, he reckons he's about 80% fit.
No, it'll be a case of stay up there. Don't expend too much energy too early in the game.
Jeremy is very much a bit part player for Chelsea these days. Joe Cole in plenty of space.
Surprised that. Yeah. I mean, not in the space, but what Joe did with it. Thought he might have driven into the penalty area.
Shearer's touch. Babayara. Robert gives it away. It's been a typically mercurial start to his game. 10 minutes of all sorts. Tackle from behind on Cole.
Yeah, always
Babayara.
Come round the side, he's come round the back. It's just sometimes you just have to accept I can't get there, so I'll just stand up, make life difficult.
Here's Thiago. It's not the third time of asking this season. Newcastle have got a goal against Chelsea. It was very much nip and tuck here in the Carling Cup. Before, of course, Chelsea got through on their way to the final next weekend. Carvalho, a brief appearance as a substitute at Everton. His first start since breaking a toe. It's a pretty capable replacement for John Terry.
And it's on again.
And they're the ones not involved. Makaleli, Drogba and John Terry. Terry suspended, as you know. Drogba, incidentally, a big improvement. May have a chance of playing against Barcelona. Seemed to have been ruled out. Hasn't played for a while.
That would be a massive boost.
Makaleli, incidentally, is on 4 yellow cards. John Terry got his 5th at Everton late on, which meant he was definitely suspended today and would have been in trouble had this game been postponed. A terrific tackle by Babayara.
Yeah, players love playing against the home sides. Celestine Babayara, no different. He'll be so keen to not only give a good performance, probably doesn't care about his own, but so keen to win the game will be.
Acceleration from Dyer, matched by the run outside him from Carr. Came off Carvalho's head. And sizing it up. The man, of course, who won the FA Cup only last season, Nicky Butt, with Manchester United, and prior to that in 1996 as well.
Again, it's good exploration down that right-hand side. Got the best ball in. He'd have liked it on his other foot, Nicky Butt. But it's worth hitting. When it comes to even on your weaker side, and it's bouncing beautifully like that, then why not have a swing at it? That was good attacking again down the right-hand side. Carr and Dyer in tandem with each other.
Well, we're into that cycle in the day when the white stuff falls again.
And it is great. FA Cup weather, I call it. It's great this time of the year.
Jose Mourinho said he'd never seen a game played in Portugal in snow. Not because they wouldn't play it, but just because it doesn't snow.
That's good from Robert. He made Gallus play it. If he'd have given it up, then Gallus could have let it run out for a goal kick.
Babayara and Butt.
Just one or two sloppy ones from Nicky Butt early on in the match. He's had a few good ones, but he's He's given it away at times.
Bridge. It's a give and go. Kieran Dyer's got the pace to track an England international colleague.
Amazing. The position that gave him so many problems early on in the season in the Bobby Robson. He's been asked to do it today, and those are the kind of things you have to do, the ugly parts of that game. Chasing Bridge, because Bridge will get forward. We know that for sure.
Casman right in by the goalkeeper. No one really making himself available, and in the end, that's all that Kieran Dyer could do, and he did keep it very well.
Great, he did it excellently. Looked around, had no support, but was confident enough in his own ability to take a couple of players on and win a free kick.
Alexei Smertin trying to occupy the Makaleli role in front of Chelsea's back four today. Again taking up that position in the hole, trying to get in to support Cole and Kejman.
Well, he certainly goes high up the pitch when it's deep, because certainly his height will be a problem. He can certainly climb and head the ball and flick it on and win it. He might, in general play, he might just be getting there a little early when they do have the ball.
Boomsong really impressed in Scotland for half a season, but Graham Souness knew his man, and backed by the Newcastle board. Make a signing to stiffen one of the problem areas, but it's Andy O'Brien who's missed out today. Titus Bramble, who was responsible, his concentration at Titus' problem, really was responsible for the Herrenbane goal on Thursday. Individual errors have been part of the problem for Graham Souness. Carr. Dyer. And a confident touch from Clivert.
Almost slipped the goalkeeper there, Pedicini, as he went to get the ball, just lost his footing, but got his balance back.
Jeremy. Well, the goalkeeper started to come. Shay Given might have been stranded if Kesman had managed to rein that one in.
An awful lot of teams going against Chelsea, and they go like for like because they want to make life difficult for them. That's understandable maybe when it's the real Chelsea, but it's great to see some team go in with their own system and say, we're going to cause you problems and let you worry about us. And certainly early on it has done. The wide areas left and right have been really profitable for Newcastle. No surprise to see Jermaine Genius switching the play again.
Robert trying to get in an early cross. Babayaro. Just a little crowded there for Genius. And a purposeful breakout orchestrated by Ricardo Carvalho. Yaroshik. Joe Cole, who scored in the league fixture here last season, which Chelsea lost their last defeat under Claudio Ranieri. Jeremy. Bridge. Yaroshik. But Shearer intercepts. You have to have the fastest legs in the world if you've got a quick mind. The legs looked a little bit weary when he had got to the ball, though.
He should never give Al a fitness test before a game. He's got to conserve his energy now. Just ask him, are you fit? I tell you, he'll say yes.
I think it was in the end down to the player having had his work out. And Souness trusting the judgment of his captain and talismanic striker. Still talk of the manager wanting to make Alan change his mind, but no signs at all from Shearer's own comments that is going to happen. Clivert. Scampering needed by Genius, and good closing down by Chelsea. Jose Mourinho has managed Chelsea in 40 matches. They've only lost 2 of them. Manchester City in the Premiership, of course, and a dead rubber in the Champions League away at Mourinho's former club, Porto. They trail here at St James's Park. A 4th-minute goal from Patrick Kluivert.
It's not quite the right angle to be delivering it from. I know they're keen to try and get it in there.
He's given away by the interceptor, though, Carvalho.
This is where they've worked it well. Moving it across the pitch, working that narrow midfield of Chelsea's.
Robert. Back to him from Babayaro. Robert again. Looking an area of profit, this Newcastle left-hand side, and indeed the right has as well, as you've been saying, Andy, using the full width here. Width and quality. And at the moment is what has undone Chelsea, but we've not yet reached the 20-minute mark. Bridge. Now Gallas. Jeremy, who turned down the chance to rejoin Middlesbrough in the transfer window. Johnson complaining that the ball hadn't gone out in its entirety. Cam now following Mateo Kezman for a Sky Digital viewer. You can access that via the red button on the remote. I'm sure you're well aware of the possibilities of an interactive system now. Johnson sizing up the free kick for Chelsea. He's really hooked that one, to use a golfing parlance. Found the rough.
Not quite what he had in mind, I think that'd be fair to say.
Jeremy. That's where Chelsea have extra midfield strength in numbers, more centrally, but Smirtin, Cole, lovely footwork from Joe Cole for Chelsea. And Jeremy trying to take it on. It's not the biggest Chelsea team, of course, today, and particularly at set pieces. You remember in the last round, John Terry scored with a header. Robert Huth scored with a header. He's also not available today. Got injured in that tie against Birmingham City.
I mean, they've got decent Gallas, Johnson, all decent.
And towards Yarashik. Smirtin. Cole. Jeremy's cross. Kezman. Whether he quite took it away from Glenn Johnson, who was certainly coming in behind him.
Well, it warranted a shout, that's for sure. The header's certainly nowhere near as good as this one. It's just one touch to set it, has a little look, and that's a lovely little run across William Gallas. Not an easy header because he doesn't have a lot to aim at, Kluivert, but he picks just about an unsavable spot. Cudicini helpless.
3 days before Barcelona, the former Barcelona player gives Chelsea a problem here at St James's Park. Bridge. On from Thiago. Continues his movement. And, well, that's really been the story of Kezman's time in England. He hasn't had much luck, and he nipped in there with Newcastle looking statuesque. He struck the frame of the goal, and so close to equalising as Newcastle threatened to go 2 goals in front. Here's Dyer. Headed out by Carvalho. Genus.
That was a great effort. If that's Didier Drogba, he probably scores, because that's the kind of run he's in. But this was a lovely move, and they get in far too easily. A little deflection, but how quickly he reacts. Does everything right. Just flicks it past the goalkeeper. No luck whatsoever for Cashman.
Well, he feels he's due a change of fortune.
Well, his team are actually, the last 10 minutes or so, they're pretty much dominating possession. They got themselves really back in it. The passing's finding its target now, more effective, and they're causing a problem or two to Newcastle United.
Garashik at man off Nicky Butt. Bramble trying to boot it away.
Well, you've got to do more than that, though. You're under the cosh a little bit. No point in just giving possession away again and it's coming back at you. That's what the little spell is, but you're going to get them in games, regardless who's playing for Chelsea. There's still an awful lot of very, very good players wearing blue out there. They're going to test you from time to time. So, at the moment, Newcastle's importance is defending, being disciplined, being organised, and concentrating, and seeing this little spell out.
Thiago, Jeremy. Backed up by William Gallas. Carvalho, who was voted UEFA's best defender of the year 2004. Here's Bridge. Garashik.
Unlucky. Great idea, he was just trying to feed it back into Cashman's run. Now there you go. I know it's only the last 5, but the last 10's been pretty much like that, I can assure you. Huge domination of possession from Chelsea. You say try and score when you're on top in a game, and Cashman came oh so close to doing just that.
He really out-sprinted Shea Given, didn't he? Because the defenders, I think the ball was in behind, they were saying to the goalkeeper, you come and get it.
Well, he reacted brilliantly, Cashman.
Boomsong. Bramble. Newcastle trying to re-establish themselves. With Shearer, so strong with defenders at his back. But he was really on the move, Cashman.
He just reacts. I mean, it's a decent little movement, little give and go, and he just feeds it into the area, and he just keeps his run going. I just think everything took everybody in black and white and the goalkeeper by surprise. Yeah, I've been there, I know what it feels like. You think you've done everything right, it just doesn't happen. One's going to hit him in the backside soon and go in, and he'll be off and running.
Of course, his one Premiership goal did come against Newcastle, but it was a 90th minute penalty in a 4-0 success. But he's done well against them in European competition in his time with the PSV against Newcastle. Shearer. Chelsea thought the game might have been stopped. Horsey says play on again here.
Having not given one at the far side of the pitch for Joe Cole, which looked a free kick, he certainly wasn't going to give that one, Mark Halsey. Well, there's no doubt they're a different side without Bellamy Newcastle. You know, they don't have that blistering pace at the top end of the pitch. When pace comes, it comes from midfield areas. Robert, Genus, Dyer are the ones that inject it. Clive and Shearer are more players who like it into feet, like little balls down the sides, but don't like to be sprinting in behind.
But this is a great opportunity for Graham Souness's team to really show that they believe in the manager's philosophy, that they've got to dig in, and that the supporters here have got to understand if the team wins, it really at the moment doesn't matter what the style of that victory is, and especially in the FA Cup when you can play brilliantly and lose and you've got no future in it. It is about a result here today, and they've given themselves a platform with an early goal. But there's been plenty to look quizzical about from the manager's point of view since then, most notably when Cashman nipped in and so nearly equalised. A fair bit of Chelsea possession. It's still Drogba, without Robin. You know, Chelsea haven't scored a goal 11 against 11 since Robin was injured. The only one was Gudjonsson. The only time they have scored since that injury was Gudjonsson at Everton when Beattie, of course, had long gone. I think that Robin factor and Drogba as well, who both did very well in the key moments in the matches between the two sides earlier this season. We'll see. We'll see here, with more than an hour to go, what firepower Chelsea have got.
That's what I mean about just every now and again. That ball fed into Nicky Buttons, just carelessly eased forward. Possession's given away, and now on the back foot. But if they do feel as if they're a little, well, there's more than a little decision going against them. 3 or 4 now that Chelsea feel should have been free kicks and could have been, haven't been given. Referees trying to keep the game going. Shout there, Cliver. You know, Robert stood 5-10 yards away from him. He's got to give him a call to say hold the thing.
It's Laurent Robert for you player cam fanatics now. Some of the big hitters, of course, on the Chelsea bench today, and I guess really for emergencies only. How long before 1-0 down really is seen as an emergency?
No, not at the moment. But in the temperature the way it is today, it's always best to get your players out and about a couple of times in the first half, I would say. Even if you're not using them, get the subs out, get them up and down the track, keep the circulation going. You know, when you think, I mean, I talked about lack of goals in this Chelsea 10 outfield players. Alan Shearer's got more than a lot of them put together. So that shows the problem, but there's no doubt, certainly on the bench with them, Gudjonsson and Damien Duff, there are goals there.
Ball has been given.
He's unlucky. Skipped up at him, and he's trying to turn away from Boomsong. He did all that, but it just caught his arm.
Just a little subdued air. And St James's Park, the Newcastle fans have seen Chelsea start to get a grip on the game in certain areas.
I think it's that 1-0 thing that they have. We've seen the team on more than one occasion here with a 1-0 lead, unable to get that second goal, and then the game suddenly goes against them. And I think that the players know that as well. And they're obviously aware of these things. And they've become, well, whether it's they've become a little negative, but they've sat back off it a little bit. They've allowed Chelsea to dominate possession, but maybe I'm not giving Chelsea enough credit for that.
Tripped by Carr. For once, Mark Halsey did say a free kick. Here's the other right back, Glenn Johnson. Chelsea, he was in the last England squad. Yarrow also played in the 2002 Cup final when Chelsea lost to Arsenal, as well as having his winners' medals from 2 years earlier. Here's Yarashik, and it's a good stop by Shay Given, who's also played in an FA Cup final back in 1998.
Well, this time the goalkeeper did do his job. It's a poor throw-in, and they don't ever get themselves together. Nice little link-up, Kejman and Yarashik. What the goalkeeper?
Jeremy with the corner. Mario had a bit of a swing at it. Newcastle can break out here.
Just didn't see it quick enough.
It's Kieran Dyer. Had an easier ball to the left-hand side.
Well, you just get the feeling that this is a big 12 minutes coming up in this game for Newcastle in particular. If they can get to half-time at 1-0 or better, a huge boost for them.
Smertic. Nice change of direction. Kejman. Height of Jarosik was a problem. Loss of footing by Cole. Dyer probably knows that outrunning Wayne Bridge isn't easy.
Yeah, but you look how many players are ahead of Dyer. None. That's what I mean, you know. He's done well again. He won the free kick. But they're having to work tremendously hard. It's a much tougher game, this, you know, when you don't have the ball. And Newcastle haven't had the ball for long sessions. Look at Shearer. Look at Shearer. He's right over him. He is furious, the skipper.
Are you going to shoot from there? I think with one or two other words that I daren't add.
Yeah, does it matter? You bet it does.
It is amazing. I know Alan Shearer's 34, but to know all the tales up in this part of the world about the FA Cup from the 50s, winners 51, 52 and 55. 1955, last time Newcastle won the FA Cup. 1955, the only time Chelsea were champions. These two clubs played each other in the Charity Shield 50 years ago. Will they be playing each other in the Charity Shield of 2005? It's not out of the question, but of course Newcastle have to knock Chelsea out of the FA Cup not to stand any chance of happening. Chelsea, as champions incidentally, won that Charity Shield 3-0 50 years ago. As I say, in any sort of knockout competition, the Umbro Cup, the Premier League, Asian Cup, it's always Chelsea coming out on top. And they were fighting a way through here. Mark Horsey was not pointing for a corner, just checking that he wasn't pointing for anything more central in that Newcastle penalty area.
Well, this time Bramble's concentration was great, because Jarosik yet again got in behind, and look at Bramble get across and do what he's in the team to do, snuff out the danger. It's 2 or 3 times now Jarosik has got himself in really good positions.
Kluivert, who had an unhappy half for playing behind two strikers, Amiobi and Shearer, on Thursday. He's enjoyed being up alongside Shearer in this switch, something Graham Souness did late in the game in Holland, and it paid off with a tremendous turnaround. It's given them a good start here. But I do feel that it's going to be what happens in the second period. It's going to be really critical.
Well, if this Chelsea side, it's not the strongest, we know that, have caused enough problems, then Graham Souness must be aware that that man there, Jose Mourinho, has ammunition sitting behind them and warming up at the moment that can really do some damage. And his team are going to have to play, Graham Souness's that is, very well defensively, I feel, second half, if they're going to win this game. So dare I say it, I feel they might need another one, Mr. Tyler.
I know all about your sixth sense. Horsey has given this game every chance to flow, as taking exception to the challenge by Thiago.
Yeah, it's just a little late there. It's a blatant obstruction. Making absolutely no attempt because he knows Dyer's gone in behind him. Straightforward yellow card. But it gives Newcastle a little bit of breathing space, just when they need it. 6 or 7 minutes to go to half-time. And if they can play those 6 or 7 minutes at this end of the pitch, and the 50,000 or so, very happy about that.
Chelsea holding a line just outside the edge of their area. Carr knocks it in. Shearer climbing, beaten by Ricardo Carvalho, collected unchallenged by Yuri Jarosik. As the snow thickens again. Kluivert, Carvalho, collected by Carr. It's about character in these conditions as well as class.
Yeah, it's also about not putting your goalkeeper under unnecessary pressure. I mean, he's done well there. But why is it Stephen Carr dumping it there from the halfway line, over the top?
Great ball by Given as well to find Shearer. Trying to come up with another header, well defended by Glenn Johnson. Good awareness by Butt. Babayaro. Visibility's becoming a bit more of a problem.
Who said that?
Let's get a word from down the touchline. Jeff Shreves. Jeff?
Yeah, Martin, the official FA Cup ball is only available in silver to the match officials today, so they're now switching to the Premier League ball because they don't have an appropriate one in yellow.
Ooh. That's one for the manufacturer's conventions, isn't it?
Yep. I bet the Premier League make a bit about that, wouldn't they?
But you can see why the yellow football will be of some advantage to the officials and to the players, and even to the broadcasters. Here's Wayne Bridge. Gallas, just over 5 minutes to go to half-time.
I think we'll find out very soon, Mr. Tyler, just how important this tournament is in Jose Mourinho's thinking. He's got his big hitters waiting. His team are 1-0 down. They're not used to it. When he decides, if the score doesn't change quickly, to bring them on, that'll tell us just how important this is.
Bridge. Now Jeremy Johnson making a run ahead of him. A little deliberate by Chelsea. Just passing and keeping the ball, but the pace at which you pass it. Yarashik comes up with some clever work of his own. No cross coming in because Titus Bramble stopped the supply line.
Yeah, but they don't want Titus Bramble making too many tackles that far from the centre of his defence. It shows that Chelsea is working it decent.
What it also might show, Andy, is that Titus Bramble's had to come out on this left-hand side because Laurent Robert perhaps isn't tracking back. Babayara's taken him to another area. He's the left-sided centre-back, Bramble.
Yeah, that's fair.
Shearer heads off. Here's Carvalho.
Well, there's been pretty much Chelsea pressure, Chelsea possession, and Newcastle defending at the moment. The occasional break. I just think the home side need half-time.
Thiago. Here's one who's come closest. He's there again, but again Newcastle see it off through Bramble.
But that's defending in the last minute, isn't it? That's like just hack it anywhere and get it out. And all we're buying is a bit of time. That's what I think, you know, half-time is needed. Great shot that, isn't it? Look at the snow in the background there.
Bounced up awkwardly for Smertin, but not handball. We've seen so much of the game in these sort of areas, particularly since Newcastle got their flying start. But Yarashik just waited, Mark Horsey, didn't he, to see whether there was any advantage for Chelsea.
What we have to remember as well is this Chelsea side's been picked with a huge amount of changes in it. And you don't just, even if you're good players, you can't just walk onto a pitch, the referee's whistle goes and you suddenly slick into gear and everyone knows where everyone is and what everyone's doing. And Newcastle have probably caught them a little cold, but they've certainly got better, Chelsea, as this game's going on.
A week at their plush new training ground, haven't they, to try and sort out the system. Jose Mourinho is a great advocate of rehearsing patterns of play. But needed a call. Is that the break that Chelsea need to get level before the break? Cole, Yarashik comes out to Bridge. Smertin, but it's a wasteful one. Come on, lads, help us out, I think.
Yeah, but I also think you've got to go and react quicker. You know, I think Nicky's just back in the side. He's had that long spell out. So he'll still be searching for his match legs, Nicky, but he'll do well to get through this game.
Well, of course, Champions League coming up. We've referred to it. Real Madrid against Juventus, Sky Sports 2, the main feature. Sky Sports Extra, PSV against Monaco. That's the Tuesday highlight with us on Sky. Well, if we're going to get a blizzard, half-time will do, Andy, wouldn't it?
What do you mean if we've got one?
And on Wednesday, from the Nou Camp, Patrick Kluivert's old team against Chelsea. And Sky Sports 2 start at 6. Manchester United against Milan, Sky Sports Extra. Plus the other matches available on Sky Sport Extra Active. How are you going to choose as a viewer? All this is, well, absolute treat after treat after treat.
That's great. Watch all 4 screens, I would suggest, maybe.
The one added minute. Wayne Bridge is in a hurry. Covering by Babayara. This is Thiago. Jeremy, the 1 minute is being signalled now.
It will be 1 minute at a time, a minimum of 1 minute at a time.
Johnson.
Oh, big tackle, sir. Big tackle.
And a decent clearance for Shearer, making himself available. Couldn't hold it up. Chilly feet, maybe.
Difficult ball skipping off the surface now. Extremely greasy. This is when a game like the game's second half really asks defenders questions. That's what you need to do. Those are the people that make the mistakes, having to deal with the ball. And at the moment, Chelsea are asking Newcastle's defenders more questions than Newcastle are asking theirs.
Well, it's got to go forward quickly for Chelsea now. If they don't do that, and in wintry weather, the question is whether Chelsea can hit back to Patrick Kluivert's early opener here for Newcastle United. A superb header from Robert's floated cross. Since then, Chelsea have had plenty of possession. Mateo Kezman has wrapped the frame of the goal. But at half-time here, it is Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 0.
Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbank and Rob Lee, with 3 finals between them, are our guests. Champions League resumes on Sky Sports this week, and what a week. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock start. We've got Real Madrid against Juventus, also Eindhoven against Monaco, last year's finalists, of course. That's Tuesday night. Wednesday, it's Barcelona against Chelsea, live on Sky Sports 2. On Extra, you can watch Manchester United play Milan. Also, live at the same time, Porto against Inter and Werder Bremen against Lyon. That's Wednesday night. It's a 6 o'clock start. Well, Arne Johnson is stripped and ready to take part in this second half. Frank Lampard will be coming on too. And Damien Duff. So Chelsea's intent very plain. They want to salvage this second half. Jeff Shreves has got more.
Yes, Richard, it's Jeremy, Cole and Thiago who make way for Johnson, Lampard and Duff. All tactical, no injury.
Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbank. I do wonder sometimes why teams in Chelsea's position don't try and get the game won and then make the changes. Surely it's harder to chase it from this point.
Well, to have 3 players of those quality and to put them in, I think it will give Chelsea a big boost. And I think it will frighten Newcastle a bit. I think that was his plan, I think, from the start. So if I'm going to be in trouble, I put them in. If not, we had a brilliant rest for Wednesday.
We put this bottom of their priorities right at the start of the programme, but plainly, they have not given up on it, have they?
Well, it shows. They haven't. 3 world-class players are coming in, and they have 45 minutes to play. So I think the game is still wide and open.
What do you do if you're Newcastle United, Rob? Sit, play, as you were?
Panic, I think.
But you don't actually need to panic, do you?
No. As I say, they take the start as well as they started the first half. Get the ball wide, wide areas where you can hurt Chelsea. If we can get the ball right to Laurent Robert again, get some crossing for Shearer and Clivert. The good thing for Newcastle is they're 1-0 up. They've got something to defend.
OK, as Martin mentioned, first half visibility something of a problem at St James's Park, but our commentary duo do sit high above the director's box, and I can tell you, despite the impression that picture gives, dry and probably warm as well. Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Yeah, it's not too bad, Richard. It is just the visibility factor, really, that is the problem. It's still snowing heavily. And also the drop in temperatures with these 3 Chelsea players coming on, Andy, and the importance of the rest of the week that's doing the absolute maximum warm-up that's in the time that's available.
Well, you wouldn't want to be pulling a muscle now, would you? That would just defeat the whole object. But I imagine the boys will be pretty warm, the ones that are coming on, Lampard, Duff and Good Johnson. I think what's the interesting thing right at the beginning of this half, are we going to see Chelsea revert back to the more familiar system? Will we see Good Johnson play on the right, Duff on the left, Cashman through the middle on his own?
To be replaced by number 22, Edgar Johansson.
Well, Ida Gudjonsson with 6 goals in his last 7 appearances against Newcastle United, including that League Cup victory here in November. And it has been later in the games between the two clubs this season where Chelsea have really shown their strength. They need to do that here. Newcastle, for the record, haven't won a game at home 1-0 under Graham Souness. Here's Bridge.
I will be extremely surprised if you and I are sitting here in 45 minutes with the scoreline still 1-0.
Here is Lampard. Split the 2 centre-backs then.
Just things like that. Super ball. Just didn't get anything on it, Cashman. Could have taken the pace off it. He was in behind.
Imagine you have to strap Frank Lampard down to the bench as he hates not playing.
You just think Newcastle have got to try and get back to what they were doing first half, and that was moving the ball across the pitch as much as anything, trying to keep possession.
Again, in terms of protecting this lead, it is defending as a unit. Laurent Robert can't be caught loitering too far forward. Of course, in Damien Duff, Graham Souness has an opponent that he knows all about. As Souness, as Blackburn manager, who sold Duff to Chelsea. Carvalho.
We started the way the first half finished, and that's with Chelsea in possession of the ball.
Put in for Newcastle from Boomsall. Dyer. They've made their 3 substitutions in 1 hit. And Wayne Bridge has an injury problem.
He's just trying to shepherd it out, and Shearer's having none of it. He just lands awkwardly as much as anything, Wayne Bridge. You know, and that's one area where they don't have a huge amount of cover. So slight concern, understandably, from Jose Mourinho. He's not the type of guy who stays down, Wayne Bridge. So there's a genuine problem there, we feel.
Well, this game is not just being shown around the world via our cameras. There are cameras from Hollywood here as well, because the movie is being made up in Newcastle, football-related, the first of a trilogy of football movies called Goal. They're very anxious for this fixture to be played today, so they could get some of their scenes in the can, as they say in the movie business. But this is, whichever way you look at it, whether you're here or a Chelsea fan watching at home, it's a worrying time. Steve Clarke, who used to be on the Newcastle bench, of course, he's also got concern written all over his face.
Well, this is huge concern. At looked a really innocuous sort of challenge from Alan Shearer. Just slid in low, blocking the ball, and he's obviously fallen awkwardly, or he's twisted something, whether it's a knee or an ankle. But there's a genuine concern. There's that orange protective thing that will wrap around the leg, but slides in there, and well, I think it's a left knee. Buckles under him. I think that's the left knee that's the problem. Now that's nasty. That could be nasty. I hope not.
Well, of course, one left-back has just left. Chelsea Football Club is playing against them today. Deemed surplus to requirements. We know who they are allegedly thinking about as a future left-back, which is the subject of a Premier League inquiry. Jose Mourinho was happy to play out the last round against Birmingham with 10 men. They were 2-0 up when Robert Hoop, who was playing on injured, was allowed to go off. Oh, Chelsea in their concern for the stricken bridge. Now letting their feelings run over. Whether Patrick Kluivert has said something, whether there is a feeling in the Chelsea camp that Alan Shearer's challenge was out of order. Mark Halsey trying to show Kluivert who's boss.
Well, I'm not sure what all that was about. I guess Kluivert was anxious to get him off the pitch, but in a situation like this, no, behave yourself, Patrick. There could be a serious injury there. If it takes 5 minutes to get it sorted, and it's in Wayne Bridge's interest to take their time, then let's do that. We can always add time on here.
But serious it certainly looks for Wayne Bridge. This dreadful misfortune for the player in the midst of a 5th round FA Cup tie, but with a cup final coming up next weekend. The trip to Barcelona now very much in doubt.
That's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, how games can change and planning can change now. I'm sure even now Jose Mourinho's concentrating on this game, but must be thinking to that game in Barcelona and what he's going to do.
Tributini's kick reaching Yarashik. Johnson closed down by Robert. Newcastle United are in a very strong position here. They're a goal to the good. They are a man to the good. But I saw Arsenal play terrifically. They, of course, lost a player through a red card yesterday, but they played heroically in the second half, 10 against 11.
It can happen like that, Martin. You're absolutely right. This is different. That's St James's. We got 50,000 cheering them on. They suddenly see another little bit of fortune goes Newcastle's way. But it isn't easy to play against 10.
What I also saw, Andy, was Sheffield United rather bow under the weight of extra expectation.
But, I mean, but this is Newcastle. You know, there are a lot of experienced players that Graham Souness has got out there. Now, always against 10 men, I always think width of the pitch rather than length. If you can widen the pitch and use it, then you work players far more. We're going to have to go in with sort of Johnston, Gallas and Carvalho pretty much as a three at the back now. I think Duff and Smerton will try and supplement them in the wide areas with Yarashik and Lampard in the middle and the two up top. So that's what they're confined to. But for Newcastle, a wonderful opportunity to press this advantage home.
Carvalho. It's also an important moment, Andy, for the Chelsea medical staff. They've just changed the doctor.
I don't know if they've quite got the system right. I mean, Glenn Johnson looks to me to be playing it right back. And they're rather exposed on this left side. Damien Duff not quite sure what to do, but I think they're trying to get Glenn Johnson in.
Well, sometimes he sends out messages.
That's the frustration. He's trying to get him in. Glenn Johnson should... I know he's only a young player, but goodness me, Glenn, the team have just lost your left back. You cannot stand away out the right wing and play his right back. They're going to try and play the three. He's finally got the message.
Yeah, Glenn Johnson's a capable central defender as well, so...
not a problem.
He's caught betwixt and between by Laurent Robert.
Oh, look at Shearer again.
Turns away at the far post.
I know, the disappointment. Again, I don't know why he's having to beat the second player. You know, when he's passed here, he takes it, and then he's going to try and beat Gallas again, and at the end he does nothing. Frustration all around.
Booms up. Played it safe and simple. Duff. Lampard.
Flags up. Just offside, Cashman.
Sure, he's restarted from the right position, but it's going to be chances for Newcastle here. Robert's away. Shearer flying in towards the near post.
Well, I have to say Chelsea defended that really well. Hugely dangerous situation, but they made sure Cliver, I think Dyer was arriving from midfield, and Shearer were all pretty much blocked off. But you just feel Newcastle have to make one of those count. I still think they might just need another one.
And they've really only got three defenders on the pitch. Ashraf Smirtin, I've seen him play at the back before, but he had a couple of games in Euro 2004 for Russia as a central defender, but at the moment Johnson's in there with Gallas, and really you feel that Chelsea have got to rely on their inspiration, their international ability.
I think they're trying what they're trying to do. I mean, whether they want to keep the back four or keep a three at the back, I'm not sure. I mean, it would make pretty much sense to say to Gallas, you go play left back, which he's done time and time again, and where he'll probably play on Wednesday night against Barcelona. And we'll have Carvalho and Smerton as centre-backs. Johnson can play right-back, so then they have a back four in place there that pretty much knows what they're doing. At the moment, they're all over the place.
But didn't I read Gallas complaining about having to play for France at left-back in the last international break?
If your team needs you...
Yeah, sure.
And
he's playing as a central defender at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's hear about the stricken left-back, Wayne Bridge, from Jeff Shreve. Jeff.
Chelsea's new club doctor, Brian English, had a look at Wayne Bridge, and he's got a shin problem. The pain the player was in made it clear that the shin had to be immobilised immediately. That's why he's off.
Well, that ain't so bad then, first little diagnosis there.
Header on by Shearer to Robert. A chance for the likes of Kieran Dyer to really run riot if Newcastle can get the ball to him in the right sort of areas. And the referee giving Chelsea momentarily their full complement again. Players like Duff capable of making light of the difficulties that his team find themselves in at the moment, and they've got a corner here earned by Kest. He's finally got his three sorted.
I think he's trying to get his Smerton that he wants him forward. I think that's where all the confusion's been.
Here comes the corner, and here's Boumsong's header away. Lampard a long way out, but it needed saving. It came skimming through from Frank Lampard.
Well, it doesn't seem to lose any pace, does it, on this surface when you strike it cleanly, and that's what he does. Beautifully struck. And it only takes that, and Chelsea are back in it.
Frank Lampard, who was a loser in the final 3 years ago, has we had a bit of banter with his dad, Frank Senior, who's got 2 winners' medals with West Ham. Johnson's throw. Kesman trying to turn. Jose Mourinho getting an update from Mike Banks, the physio.
Well, I have to say, if it is a shin problem, that suggests an impact injury, which can be hugely so. You know, shin, very little protection there, just a band of skin really before it. So maybe a couple of days treatment, a lot of ice on it, might just do the job. That's certainly better than any knee problem.
There's a fair bit of ice around.
Stick his leg in that snowbank just outside the dugout.
Kesman. By Yaroshik. And it's ricocheted here through for Ida Gudjohnsen, who's got plenty of support, and he's picked the wrong option because there were two to the right. Stephen Carr trying to tidy it up, but a little nervously for Newcastle. Gallas.
I just think Kieran Dyer's a little narrow for me. I mean, now he doesn't need to be. It is a pretty much 4v4 across that midfield. Chelsea only have the 4. Normally they've got an extra man centrally, but they don't have that now. They've got Schmerton, Yaroshik, Lampard and Duff. I just think Kieran Dyer said to you, widen the pitch if you've got the extra man. Make Chelsea work across the pitch. By Dyer going infield as narrow as he's going, it's actually helping Chelsea.
Yaroshik. That's very ambitious. You know, Andy, you're too young to remember this, but it was because of the FA Cup to a large extent that substitutions were eventually permitted. There were a series of FA Cup finals in the 1950s which were ruined really by injuries. No substitutes then. Teams guaranteed defeat, really, having to play 10. And some players were asked to limp on with injuries that finished their careers. And obviously the regulations were changed, but here we've got a circumstance brought about by 3 substitutions being done in one go at half-time by Jose Mourinho, and then Chelsea picking up an injury straight after that. Shearer. We used to call it the Wembley hoodoo.
See, that's what I think Dyer's not doing his team any favours at all.
Lampard just trying to open it up again with a through ball for Kesman. Robert has seen bags of possession since Bridge went off. A claim that Johnson intercepting used a hand as well. Whistle's now gone. But it's about decision-making for Laurent Robert.
Yeah, it is. And just at times, he doesn't make the right one too as much as he should. Certainly not with his ability. I mean, he's got no support here apart from Kluivert. But he's just so anxious to play it in there. They're looking for handball. It would have been extremely generous if he'd have been penalised here as he goes to ground. Glenn Johnson, nah.
I think it was a desperate claim by Robert, who knew that he'd wasted a promising opportunity for Newcastle United. Graham Souness will be looking at his back line here. Keep it tight there. All in tight as a unit, the 4 close to each other, making sure there's no space for the likes of Lampard to guide the ball into.
Well, you just feel Nicky Butt got a huge job on the second half here to keep his eye on Lampard.
Babayaro goes down, no foul. Kesman found by Lampard, and it came behind Duff. Too far in front of Yaroshik, who was able to retrieve. Duff. Gudjohnsen, Lampard. There are times here where you wouldn't think that Chelsea were a man light. And they have another corner.
This is good from Chelsea. Got themselves together, got themselves organised again, and starting to move the ball around and ask questions.
Yaroshik and Kesman going to the same area.
Half a chance. I always think when you get in round about 6 or 7 yards out and you get a head on it, then it can end up anywhere, even in a crowd of players like that. You get it going down towards goal, you just don't know.
Terry McDermott is back on the coaching staff here in what was described as a pastoral role.
What's that mean?
Caring for the well-being of the players.
Well, he'll do that all right. Yeah, he does like a chuckle up that way.
Keep them happy. Shearer heads on. Robert just trying to get it infield to Clive. It was only a short pass. It could have been a decisive pass. Other signs with Amiobi getting ready that Alan Shearer's race is run here.
Yeah.
Well, is he? You wouldn't think so in these circumstances. We were coming here wondering whether we were going to see him play in this competition for the last time. He goes off. Listen to what the Newcastle fans think about Graham Souness's decision. They don't understand the nuances of it, the fitness question.
This is a man who nearly never made the game. This is a guy who's 80% fit and has a problem with a hamstring. Now, when do you injure hamstrings? When you're cold or when you get a little tired? We're into that stage in the game where there's a real possibility of a little bit of fatigue, and Alan Shearer might be out for 6 weeks.
Well, for Shearer, it is shoulder. Amiobi has been in the starting 11 for the last 11 games, but it didn't work playing the three forwards for Graham Souness on Thursday.
But I think that works now. I think Amiobi's somebody who you can get the ball up to, you can get a hold of it, you can beat people, you can run at people. Give them something different, Chelsea, to deal with than they have for the first hour.
Carr.
This is where Graham Souness wants his team to use the ball like that. That's what I mean, Martin, about spreading it. Work the pitch to win. And it's really hard if you've got 10 if you do it well.
Trying to stretch Chelsea to breaking point. Robert. Back to Babayaro. And Carvalho almost fell down for Kluivert. Great hold-up play by Gudjonsson. Carvalho making an extra midfield man. 20 minutes gone in the second half, very eventful 20 minutes. Johnson Duff just sneaked in behind Nicky Butt. Smertin. Duff. Kesman. Banged away by Babayaro. Headed on by Amiobi.
Get hold of it. That's what he needed to do. Get hold of it.
Kesman. Lampard. Smertin, flag up just against Kesman.
Stephen Carr just got a little anxious and he sprinted out just at the last minute, the fullback. Watch, he thinks he's playing one side and he thinks, I better get out of here, because he knows he can't influence it. Made the right decision.
Stephen Carr, who lost a couple of semi-finals in his Tottenham days. Yarashik. Johnson just beaten to it. Titus Bramble, who has performed with plenty of ability at this level, but just that question about his concentration. Type of player that opposing managers say, watch out, he's usually got one error in him in a game.
Absolutely. And
in his position, that can be a costly one, but he hasn't made a conspicuous one here. Some error in terms of a mistimed tackle by Yarashik.
Well, I talked about Kieran Dyer. I don't think naturally he was doing his team any favours. It'll be interesting to see now.
He's not been well.
No, I know.
Coughing and spluttering as he comes off here.
But I wonder if Milner will give him a little bit more win. That'll be interesting, whether he'll just go and play what Dyer was.
And he's immediately given them the whip. In this little passage of play. Strong touch there by Kluivert. Milner. Amiobi near post.
But what that does, it immediately gets Carvalho interested, so it means that you're stretching the back three even further than they want to be. When Dyer was inside, it meant Carvalho could just sit infield, knew he had nothing to worry about on the outside.
A little word from the Chelsea manager. It's a wonderful description by our promotions people, wasn't it, in the circumstances. Mourinho, the Portuguese man of 4. But it may be a man of 3. It doesn't work quite so well then, does it?
No.
Chelsea by no means have given it up. In fact, they played with genuine ambition and bags of positive thinking, even in adversity here. But Robert with a chance to challenge Chelsea again, and a second goal, and you really would feel Newcastle would be heading for the quarter-finals. By Johnson. Seems very spread. Graham Souness won't want that.
No, there are some good players out there, still in blue shirts. 3 or 4 of them capable of winning a game, changing a game, rescuing a game.
Well, Duff dancing away from Babayaro. Got back at him. Yarashik. Kesman just trying to pull away from Kari, did that. Supported by Adegood Johnson. Kesman. Well, the return ball was on, but Chelsea get it to Yarashik. Kesman!
Difficult, certainly when it's coming at that angle and you're using your right foot and your body shape's the way it was for Kesman. This is a hugely different, to open yourself up and get the proper strike with your right foot. Difficult, needed 2 touches.
More on Wayne Bridge from Jeff Shreves. Jeff.
Martin, ominous news for Chelsea. Wayne Bridge is now being taken to Newcastle General Hospital, and there is talk amongst the paramedics of a suspected broken ankle. First person to go and see him in the dressing room was Alan Shearer, of course, involved in the incident. Bridge was after his shirt. I also saw Kieran Dyer in the tunnels, and he came off because he has a tightening of the groin.
Well, I hope that's wrong. It'll be a huge blow for not only Wayne Bridge, but his club as well.
Duff. Trying to force Chelsea back, and that's what's happened. 20 minutes left at St James's Park. Lampard. That was taken back by Genius. 1 touch too many. There's a competition with a whole history of heroes. Chelsea could find them one here.
Well, Gallas has kept his run going. He's found himself up in the right wing position. But this game's up for grabs, I'll tell you.
Good Johnson!
Good hit again. With a couple of good strikes, Lampard and Good Johnson in the second half. Admittedly from distance. And unfortunate for them, straight down the goalkeeper's throat.
Carr. Amiobi. Looking to work with Clivert. Stephen Carr's trying to get in behind Johnson, but in doing so has taken himself offside. Lampard.
It's amazing, this game, football, isn't it, and how quickly things can change. We were talking about 4 possible trophies that Chelsea have still got to go for at the end of this week. They could be struggling to be in 2. A bad result Wednesday in Barcelona, and then a defeat in the Carling Cup final. Seasons do change quickly at this level.
Smerty. Bramble in there effectively again. Forward by Milner. Carvalho trying to locate the ball. It's a big ask for him on his first game for a long time.
A few hearts and mouths around the ground there as tight as Bramble decided to head it back. I think unaware that Kesman was behind them.
A little bit torn here, Newcastle, as to what to do best, whether to go for Chelsea and finish them off. And Stephen Carr might be able to do that here. Well, Kuricini started to come.
It's a chance, great defending from Damien Duff. He sees it late, but he gets back in here. And he's unlucky, Stephen Carr, because he never quite gets it set properly for himself. Rather struggling to get it under control, but full marks to Duff and the goalkeeper for seeing it out.
Cudicini got hurt in the subsequent collision.
I think you mentioned the problem, and that's exactly what it is. You don't know whether to stick or bust.
Yeah.
If Stephen Carr makes that run and it gets cut out and they break on us and they concede an equaliser, but I just think you have to keep playing positively. 1 up, extra man, you must keep looking for a second.
Obiang Clivert. And Johnson chasing it out. It's a problem for Jermaine Genius momentarily. He seems to be up quickly though.
Yeah, well, a situation like this, Newcastle can take their time, be deliberate.
Robert does have an assist on the 1 goal. Newcastle have scored through Clivert. Touched away by Johnson.
Come bad ball. They just didn't get the spread right, I didn't think, attacking it.
It's an unchallenged defensive header by Glenn Johnson. 15 minutes left. In the last 9 seasons, Chelsea have only gone out to Manchester United and Arsenal.
Obviously everyone on that corner saw a little nick of the Chelsea player.
Yeah, the assistants in the other half. Fortunate throw for Chelsea. Lampard. For Johnson. Can't keep it though. Campbell with the due deliberation out to Robert. Genius. Just feel they need a bit of guidance from the Nicky Butts of this world. Maybe even Genius, who has been captaining the team in Shearer's absence, and Shearer's off now.
But you'd think it's a game made for Nicky Butt, Mark, to be dictating, not just when he's on the ball, but vocally as well. But you have to keep saying he is short in practice, short of games at this level.
And Newcastle are short of clean sheets at this level. They'll be fearful as the minutes tick away, despite the fact they're 1-0 up, despite the fact that Chelsea are 1 man down. Rabiaro, for whom this will be a very special victory. Robert. But Neil Milner was coming behind. They tried to throw the dummy. Boomsong. Duff has to do a lot defensively, and he's just limping a little bit as well, which is another concern in this week of all weeks for Chelsea Football Club.
I just think Newcastle are not helping themselves by... I just think they need to shorten your game rather than lengthen it. Keep it. Pass and move, work Chelsea. Tending to look too long, too often. Chelsea cutting the ball out and getting possession back again. There really is nothing in this game.
Here is Butt. Clivert. Genius. This is more controlled from Newcastle United. Milner is an ambitious ball. Good feet from Lampard. Into the right for Good Johnson. Kesman's come out to this near side. Garashik. Lampard. pick-off for Celestine Babayaro. Bramble. Just a little bit static ahead of him.
No, that's offside. He was offside. But what I'm saying is, why does Titus Bramble need to play at 60 yards forward like that when he's got 4 black and white shirts around him? I think it's there. It's obvious. It's, you know, shorten your game, pass it, keep the ball.
And he's a graduate of one of the great passing teams in English football history in his time with Liverpool. Now good Johnson. Was behind Boomsong, but it wasn't in an area really where Pesman had much chance of getting a touch.
Well, the only danger here is if Shea Gibbons spills it, and I have to say, normally yeah, but in a day like today, anything can happen. It's pretty relieved, Shea. Good concentration.
Amiobi jumping with a raised arm.
Edging closer, Newcastle. Edging closer.
We talk about this being a big week for Chelsea. It could turn out to be a tremendous week for Newcastle United as well, with the second leg against Heerenveen and European progress on the back of what is 10 minutes or so away from a major scalp in the FA Cup. Of course, circumstances have helped Graham Souness to some extent. Jose Mourinho, apart from the suspended John Terry and 1 or 2 injured players, a free choice.
Yes, he did. And you know, we talk about it year in, year out. There are certain things happening in cup runs that go your way. And certainly it has gone his way today. Graham Souness will look at a good start, a little bit of luck with Cashman hitting the bar, and then Chelsea reduced to 10 men for almost all of this second half. All of those things are going in Newcastle's favour. That's it. That's what the manager wants. Pass it.
Carr.
We want someone to come and help Stephen Carr.
He just gets his pass to Genius, and he just gets his to Butt. They are still following the manager's gospel. Cliver to Amiobi. If they keep moving Chelsea around, they might just carve out another chance here.
Come here.
Stephen Carr didn't shout loud enough, obviously. It's another strange one from Laurent Robert.
I just don't understand that. You know, someone with his experience, 9 minutes to go, you got possession, you had 10 yards of space. No, you can't get it, Graham. You're not registered as a player anymore, mate. Still hobbling, Martin. A lot of concern down there.
Amiobi, yeah. As we knew from the team selection originally, Jose Mourinho didn't really want to have to use Damien Duff and others.
I'll tell you what I am a little surprised with. I'm a little surprised they went with the 3 at half-time, because we talked, and you know, Rob Lee mentioned it, I talked about it for half hour, certainly for only the first 15 minutes were Newcastle dominant. From then on, it was pretty much all Chelsea. I just thought he might have let it go. Certainly kept one back for about 10-15 minutes of the second half.
Well, he'll have to accept that even great managers don't always get it right.
Yeah.
I saw Arsene Wenger make a late change yesterday that didn't help Arsenal, bringing on an extra defender. And they went from 1-0 up to 1-1 after that. Milner.
That's when they've been a little sloppy, Newcastle. No pressure. But they just... well, sloppy's the word they would use, I would have to. Just with the passing.
I think they lack confidence in being in a 1-0 situation. They lack self-belief that they can see it through. But they should be able to with an extra man.
Yeah, no stretcher. Keep it going.
Clivert. Here is the hit-and-miss Robert. And he's lost it. Now he's got a corner though. There you are, the cold and the hot. And he takes a good corner too. And they've left 2 up, Chelsea, this time. No chance, you feel, for Newcastle to throw numbers in. Chelsea short of markers. guarding the space by the near post.
Well done, Genius, though. Won the edge of the box, kept it on.
Amiobi heads it down. Gallas just diverted it away from an area where Clivert was trying to come into. Robert again.
Still only two in there. As Robert crosses it. No one prepared to gamble from midfield. That's the dilemma they're under. They're just frightened to go.
Gallas. And Chelsea got a saviour in their ranks here at St James's Park. Duff, Jarosik, Lampard. It's all very central. Almost spun over Babayaro for Eidur Gudjohnsen, who more than any other Chelsea player has got a great track record against today's opposition. Smirty. Johnson. Gudjohnsen. Here's Kesman. Stopped in the act of shooting by Titus Bramble. Chelsea have a corner.
A thumping tackle that was from Bramble. That had been an entry. He committed himself early, and if Kesman had shifted it forward instead of looking for the shot, it would have been an interesting one.
They've got several other players here apart from the 16 Chelsea. They're flying on to Barcelona from Newcastle Airport later tonight. They might be having to send for further reinforcements with Kesman having a problem. Up goes Carvalho to throw. Where is it?
He can't have given the corner, surely. No, I don't believe he's given the corner. No.
That's absolutely extraordinary. Lampard takes it as Chelsea's luck turn here. Comes out to Glenn Johnson. And deflects off for Bramble, and Newcastle are furious.
I mean, how can the linesman miss that? You tell me. It's a foot in front of him.
Mark Horsey's saying that. Hang on, he's there. He should know.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. If anything comes of this... How'd you miss that? Oh. I mean, do me a favour. Well, if anything happens here, prepare for fireworks.
The flick on, and it could have happened for Johnson. He's got Glenn Johnson with him. For the head, he found the head of Carvalho. Still nervy for Newcastle.
Oh, hugely.
Lampard. Kesman. Keep the ball, Graham Souness will be saying. Well, maybe more than that, because they can counter-attack here with Milner. Amiobi's got to stay onside, but I'm not sure that he'd done that. In any case, Alexei Smirtin showed his defensive capabilities. Oh, and Boomsong got ahead of the ball. Only for a fraction of a second, though. Here's Duff.
Well, they're actually playing with 9.5 now, Chelsea. Damien Duff is half fit.
And it's auxiliary striker William Gallas offside. Let's get a check-up on Duff's condition from our medical man again, Jeff Shreves.
Well, I can't tell you about the man himself, Martin, but all eyes on the Chelsea bench are on Damien Duff. They can see him dragging one leg. He's virtually hopping around the pitch, and there have been serious discussions as to whether or not they do go down to 9. They're not following the game hardly at all. It's just Damien Duff they're looking at, obviously worried about the week ahead.
Well, these injuries that'll be watched by the Barcelona scouts, also by Rafa Benitez and his players, with the Carling Cup final coming up, which of course you can see on Sky Sports. If you haven't got a ticket, it's the only place you can see it live. But a couple of minutes plus added time.
Well, if there is any consolation for Chelsea coming into midweek, is it? It's at the top end of the pitch they've got the problems, and they're going to Barcelona, and as long as he can take his defence, his midfield unit that have been absolutely brilliant, and his goalkeeper there fit, ready to go and in top form, that gives him a couple of weeks to get the others fit, ready to go at Stamford Bridge. So that's a small consolation, but only a small one.
Well, Terry will be back, and Drogba may well be available as well, so it is a squad game, as Jose Mourinho's pointed out, but he's kept his squad to what he regards as manageable proportions. Now, if you're fit, you'll get picked. In goes Carvalho.
Well, it's sloppy again, Babayaro. Why on earth he's playing that pass? Just give it. Simple.
Lampard. And Babayaro became the hero, having been the villain a moment or two ago. Robert, 3 up for Newcastle, 4-5 back for Chelsea. Which is to their credit. They've not lost a sense of perspective in the game. Chelsea have rarely looked like going another goal down. Short-handed but big-hearted Chelsea.
Full match to Chelsea. I have to say they've given it everything. Second half down to 10.
But we'll wait to see how long the stoppage time period will be. And Duff, it might be better to get him off, but of course this is the FA Cup and they're trying to hang on in there and nick an equaliser. A foul by Carvalho of the obvious nature. Yellow card.
Yeah, good feet, good skill. It's a free kick. No doubt about that.
Oh, 5 minutes, Andy.
Well, it was that long wait over Wayne Bridges' injury. That's to be expected.
5 nerve-wracking minutes for Graham Souness, even though, well, he's trying to build a side to be calm and controlled in these circumstances.
Yeah.
He's making progress towards that, but they're certainly not the finished article yet.
No, but you make strides, don't you? The important one, can you imagine the confidence that they'll give his team if they can see this one out now and take that on to the next stage?
Well, they haven't been great to watch, and he'd be the first to confirm that. But 1 defeat in 9, that was 1-0 away to Arsenal. And this would make it 1 defeat in 10 and a famous victory. It would be the first time that Newcastle United have ever beaten Chelsea at home in the FA Cup. But it's still not yet in the bag. Laurent Robert with his great skill at free kicks. It's not the natural side for a left-footer.
He can take his pick though, I think, from here. He can take goalkeepers right or left. It's up to him. Now's the time for him just to put it all to bed.
Gina's having a look as well. It is Robert's a corner. Now, what are they going to do with this? Are they going to try and keep it in the corner?
Well, as if Babayaro's awake, he should have been straight over there with him. Why is Shea giving on the halfway line?
He's telling somebody to go out for a short corner. And it's a shortish corner. And it's, oh, Glenn Johnson sliced it behind, and it could so easily have flown into the back of his net.
Horrible ball to deal with. It's got pace, it bounces just in front of him. He knows he has to deal with it. You don't be wanting to leave that because you don't know what's behind you. But there'll be no rush. But trust me, it'll be the best part of 4 minutes still to go. Clive, it took a while to get up.
Well, they have recognised keeping the ball is the big commodity here from the corner. Clive made a great run towards the near post. Robert crossed towards Babayaro, reached Carvalho, not once but twice. Good Johnson trying to get away from Bramble, who has been the boss. Clivert. Shola Amiobi. Onside, brought down by Kurashini, who was sent off by Mark Halsey a couple of years ago at Stamford Bridge.
No, he's not off. Not off. It's a free kick. Might be a yellow card, but there's plenty of defenders around here. He looked all the world offside at me, but the flag stayed down. Oh, that's close, that. Is he giving them red? Well, I think that's harsh. I think when you see that ball go over and you see players coming back, Smerton. Well, you did have a choice, Mark Halsey. I think he has got an option. I don't agree with him. I think he did have an option. If he nips it straight past him and he's through on goal, but he goes, this is going wide. He's falling already, and I think Smerton's getting round.
Andy, Carling Cup final.
Out.
Out.
Are you joking?
Suspension.
I don't believe that. You see, I do think a referee has a responsibility there. That's not a certain red card. That's what they're saying. The ball's going away. There's players at the back.
Chelsea have time to appeal.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying. You see Frank Lampard there and Duff. They're saying the ball went wide. There was players coming round in front of the goalkeeper. I think Mark Halsey he's got that wrong. I know there's a lot around the country will say he had no option. I don't agree with that. I think he did. We're in the 95th minute of the match.
Well, of course, no more substitutions could be used. It's Glenn Johnson who's gone in goal. And this is extraordinary. They're finishing with 9 men. There he is. The stand-in. Just get the shot on target. Be the message.
What are you trying to say?
No, but
I know what you mean.
Don't work it to the corner. Oh, what a save! What a save by Johnson from Laurent Robert.
Well, I think he's happy it was right at him. That he got enough on it, the goalkeeper. Oh, well, we'll have to call him that now, don't we?
Well, he called himself a special one, maybe a chosen one, Jose Mourinho, but fates have conspired against him here today.
Haven't they just? Haven't they just? He knows.
Well, they normally do that at the final whistle, but there's a suggestion that he feels the game is up. It will be some story if Chelsea get a goal here. We're already in the 97th minute. But he's got a first-choice goalkeeper, of course, in Petr Cech to play against Liverpool. And we've got another injury here for Chelsea, William Gallas. But for Carlo Cudicini, that is a heartbreak. Boom song. The 4-trophy target has gone down to 3 for Jose Mourinho. Chelsea fall in the 5th round of the FA Cup. The manager's change at half-time, a triple substitution, went badly wrong. They were trying to repair the damage after Patrick Kluivert had scored early, and there was that 1-0 lead at half-time that Chelsea were looking to turn around. But so soon after that, Wayne Bridge stretched it off with what might be a broken ankle. Chelsea's spirit wasn't broken, they fought hard, but then Carlo Cudicini sent off by Mark Halsey. That's the second time that's happened to Cudicini in his career with this referee. Glenn Johnson in goal, all sorts of makeshift circumstances, other injuries to take into account as well. Duff limping, Gallas limping, but Newcastle celebrating. They've avenged their Carling Cup defeat here by Chelsea. They are still on course to win the competition for the first time for 50 years. The same season when Chelsea were league champions for the only time in their history. It's certainly not the best preparation for Barcelona away, as Chelsea have to get themselves together and get to the airport. They fly there straight tonight. They have lost for only the 3rd time under Mourinho, but it is the most costly defeat so far because there is no way back. They are out of the FA Cup to a jubilant Newcastle United. Graham Souness has got his 1-0 win, but that's only a part of an extraordinary story here. But that is the final score.
4 more for Chelsea. Tonight, 8 o'clock from Spain, it's Villarreal against Atletico Madrid. And don't forget, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Sky Sports News is the place to find the FA Cup 6th round draw. Newcastle are in it, Chelsea are not. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and Rob Lee have been enjoying that with us. What drama. The fabulous cup tie. A goal from Patrick Kluivert as early as the 4th minute settled it. All the reaction comes next. Jose Mourinho and Graham Souness. So close, you wouldn't think they'd need a phone, but it would appear they do. Or is Jose, as we think, calling for reinforcements? It's not been a good afternoon for Chelsea. Out of the FA Cup, Damien Duff injured, William Gallas limped off, and Wayne Bridge, we think, in hospital with a suspected broken ankle. Tonight, 8 o'clock, Sky Sports 1, Villarreal meet Atletico Madrid. Tomorrow, 7:30 on 1, it's Crawley against Morecambe. That, of course, is conference football. And the Champions League returns to Sky Sports this week, Tuesday and Wednesday nights. On Tuesday, it's a 7 o'clock start. Main focus of attention, Real Madrid, who meet Juventus. It's Eindhoven against Monaco at the same time on Sky Sports Extra. And on Wednesday night, we've got 4 live games simultaneously. Chelsea go to Barcelona, of course. That's live on 2. On Extra, it's Manchester United against AC Milan. Also playing Porto and Inter, and Werder Bremen meet Lyon. It's a 6 o'clock start on Wednesday. All the reaction to come with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank and Rob Lee here. Right now, let's hear from the man of the match and the Newcastle skipper. They're both with Jeff Shreves.
Well done, Titus. Alan, just how big a win was that for this club?
Huge. We said before our 2 games, UEFA Cup and this game, that it was a massive week for us, and we've come away with 2 victories. And we just can't stress how important it was, and we're just delighted to come out with it with 2 victories.
Is it fair to say you were hanging on for much of the game?
No, I don't think so. I think if you look at the chances we created and the chances that they created, albeit they went down to 10 men in the second half. But no, I thought without they didn't really trouble Shea, to be honest. 1 or 2 good saves in the first half, but after that, which is understandable because he had 10 men.
Titus, the defence has had a lot of criticism. How proud are you of a clean sheet?
Of course, I mean, we've not kept a clean sheet in many games, so as a defender, it's always good to keep a clean sheet, and especially against a team like Chelsea.
Was there a problem at all with confidence once you went 1-0 up? Because they seem to have the lion's share of the possession.
Yeah, I mean, you have to deal with that. I mean, playing against a team like Chelsea, they're always going to have a lot of possession. So we know if we defended, we've got players that can score goals. And
when you saw their team sheet, did that give you a boost?
Of course, I mean, what you read in the papers all week is that they're going to rest a lot of players with one eye on Barcelona, and it was up to us to make sure that after their players were rested, we got a result.
Alan, you were involved in that incident with Wayne Bridge. What happened? It seemed innocuous.
I don't even know what happened, to be honest. I don't even know whether we clashed or he got his leg stuck in the ground or what. I don't know. It was just it was a shame. I mean, Jose gambled at half-time by putting 3 substitutes on, and it didn't really pay off, to be honest, because he'd always run the risk, and he knew that he's 1-0 down. He had to gamble, but it didn't work for them. But for the challenge, I don't really know what happened. I don't think we even touched each other.
Titus, is there a feeling amongst the players, if you've beaten Chelsea, this could be your year in the FA Cup?
Hopefully, fingers crossed, eh?
I mean, it's 50 years since you last did it. Are you aware what it means to the club?
Of course, I mean, these fans deserve a trophy, so hopefully this year we can bring them some silverware.
Alan, you keep going. You got another one to go in the FA Cup?
Yeah, we've got another game. Yeah, we'll look forward to the draw and hopefully get a home draw. We asked for a home draw. This one, we got a tough one. We've seen off Chelsea, and fingers crossed another home draw, and who knows.
Well, today Titus is the FA man of the match. Should we pass him the bubbly, please, Alan?
Well done, pal. Brilliant. Thanks. Cheers,
Well done, fellas. Well done, Titus.
He's had his fair share of criticism, Titus Bramble, at different times at Newcastle United, but he was absolutely magnificent this afternoon, and had to be, Rob, didn't he? And so too the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, I think Newcastle made hard work of it, really, especially after Chelsea went down to 10 men. I think neither team really troubled the keeper, but Chelsea kept the ball very, very well. I mean, Newcastle, I think their passing was sloppy in the second half especially, and really should have been a little bit easier than it actually was. I mean, Chelsea looked like, you know, like they had the extra man. Really.
It's Newcastle, Rob. There's always going to be drama with Newcastle, isn't there? It's inevitable.
That's why it's so good to come up here and watch it. That's what we've been doing for years and years. I mean, you can't expect Newcastle to win 1-0 and it will be easy, but I think it's a great result for Newcastle. I mean, I just hope now it's a good draw for us. I hope it's a home draw and get us a chance to get in the semi-final.
Don't forget the draw tomorrow live on Sky Sports News. But from Chelsea's point of view, Jimmy, not just out of the FA Cup, which means the dream of 4 dies, but it could yet prove to be a very costly defeat, couldn't it? Duff finished injured, Gallas finished limping, and of course Wayne Bridge gone.
Well, 3 important players, 3 players who would, yeah, basically play on Wednesday. So hopefully it's not that serious. Well, for Wayne Bridge it is, but for Duff and William Gallas, hopefully it's not that serious and they can play on Wednesday, because otherwise today would be a disaster.
And right now, Carlo Cudicini misses next week's League Cup final as a result of the sending off. They can appeal it. They might appeal it. Should they appeal it? Did he have to go?
Well, it's difficult to say. It's the last minute of the game, so I think...
That shouldn't make a difference, though, should it?
It shouldn't, no, but maybe of the referee, a yellow card would be enough, I think. You know, 30 seconds to go, and he's going away from the goal.
And so, there are other defenders around.
As well, so, yeah, you don't know what the referee is thinking at that moment, so, and you don't know what he sees.
Did he have to go for you?
I think if you go into the letter of the law, then which referees have to these days, and I think Mark Elsie made the right decision, really. I think he's...
But do they do that all the time?
Well...
That's the question.
Well, no, they don't.
If they do that all the time, then okay, then he had to go. But they don't.
No, well, so, that's individual.
Okay, gentlemen, Jose Mourinho is waiting to talk to us. Let's hear from him with Jeff Shreves.
Jose, out of the FA Cup, but is that the least of your worries right now?
I'm stupid if I say that we are not sad because we lost, or if we say we don't care about FA Cup, because it's not true. I think is logical, and we show with the team we start, we show that we have other competitions in front of FA Cup, but we came here to win, and we didn't. So we are not happy with that. But I think sometimes you are proud of your team because you win. Sometimes you lose, like today, and I'm still very proud of my team, even more than sometimes I win matches. I think they were magnificent. I think the mentality was fantastic. The way the team reacts against a very good team with very good players and losing from almost the first minute. After that, 10 players during 45, 9 players when Duffer got injured because it was 9.5, and I think doesn't matter a lot for the rest of the game. Carlo, 2 or 3 more minutes to play, but a lot of things against us. We had quite a good chances to score goals. The Kesman one is once more unbelievable. The boy is really unlucky, but the way the team fought against very difficult circumstances was fantastic. So, of course, I'm not happy because we lost. The players are not happy because we lost. But the message, I think, was a message of a very, very, very proud team, a very confident team, a team that is together in the good moments, in the bad moments. And of course, today is not a good moment for us. It's not a drama, because in football, no time for dramas, especially when we are in a fantastic position to win. What is the most important for us with the Premiership. So just good words in relation to my players, just good words about the ref. I think difficult job for him, but I think he did okay. Maybe 1 or 2 bad decisions, yes, maybe 1 or 2 bad decisions, but a good work by the ref. And Newcastle was not the best team, but I think also in Stamford Bridge they were better than us for about 45 minutes, and we beat them 4-0. So that's football. Congratulations to them, and they are a big club, and I hope they can reach a big moment for them with the final.
Okay, Jose, you say no drama, but what's the cost? What's the news on Wayne Bridge, Damien Duff and William Gallas? Do they look like they'll be fit for Wednesday?
Wayne Bridge, no chance. Wayne Bridge, of course, no chance. Duff and Gallas, we have to wait and see. But again, I'm not the type of person to cry on injuries or to get excuses on injuries. Since we have 11 players to play, you have to go with the same mentality we went today. So we have Barcelona and Liverpool to play this week, and I don't want to cry on injuries.
Okay, thanks, Jose. Thank you.
Very dignified and a little frustrated, obviously, at the defeat here today. Did he make a mistake putting 3 substitutes on at half-time?
Well, yeah, I think so. If you put 2 in, you get the same message across, I think. and make your third substitute in the last 10 minutes or last 15 minutes. It's a big gamble, and it didn't work today.
Of course, within 3 or 4 minutes, they'd lost Wayne Bridge, who, as we've heard, has a suspected broken ankle. No chance for Wednesday night. No blame for the Newcastle United skipper either, who was making a genuine and honest challenge for that ball, but the fullback went over badly, didn't he?
Yeah, it was an honest challenge, and he got the ball. I think that he slipped wrong, he felt wrong on his ankle, and just unfortunate.
And no news yet about Damien Duff or William Gallas, who may or may not be available against Barcelona on Wednesday night. Duff picked up a knock there. I mean, once your luck changes, then things do tend to go against you, don't they?
I think William Gallas and